When we think of the most hated characters in Game of Thrones, Joffrey Baratheon usually tops the list. He was cruel, arrogant, and full of himself. A boy who made people suffer for fun. But what if I told you he was actually a smart and effective ruler in many ways? It may sound crazy, but stay with me, because today we're going to break down the reasons why Joffrey might have been the right king for Westeros, in the worst kind of way. 1. He kept King's Landing stable. During a civil war, let's start with this. King's Landing didn't fall under Joffrey's rule. Even though the realm was tearing itself apart during the War of the Five Kings, the capital remained intact. When Stannis Baratheon attacked with his fleet in Season 2, King's Landing could have been wiped off the map, but it wasn't. Why? Because Joffrey allowed the right people, Tyrion and later Tywin, to take charge when it counted. Tyrion organized the defense and used wildfire strategically and crushed Stannis' forces. Joffrey gave the green light to all of this. So even if Joffrey wasn't on the front lines himself, he did what a smart king does. He let skilled people do their jobs without interfering. That's more mature than it looks, especially compared to other rulers who act on emotion or ego. 2. He was cruel, but in Westeros, cruelty works. Let's be real. Westeros is a brutal place. It's not modern Earth. Here, kind kings die young, and mercy is often seen as weakness. Joffrey didn't show mercy, and that's exactly why people feared him. He executed traitors, punished enemies, and ruled with iron fear. Yes, it was ugly, yes, it was harsh, but it was also effective. Compare him to Ned Stark, who was too honorable and got betrayed and beheaded. Robb Stark, too fair, got betrayed at the Red Wedding. Tommen, too soft, lost control to the faith and his own mother. Joffrey, on the other hand, kept his grip on power the entire time he ruled. No rebellions in the capital, no coups. Fear kept the city quiet, and in Westeros, that's a win. 3. He understood politics more than people think. People assume Joffrey was stupid because he was immature, but actually he was pretty politically aware. He kept Sansa Stark alive to use as a political hostage, approved a marriage alliance with the Tyrells, securing grain supplies and soldiers, didn't trust Tyrion or Varys, both of whom turned out to be long-term threats to the Lannisters. That's not random. That's smart political thinking. He may have been arrogant, but he knew how to use powerful people around him and still stay in control. He didn't always like listening to advice, but when it mattered, he didn't stop the machine from working. 4. He knew when to let others lead. You might be surprised, but Joffrey actually shared power, or at least pretended to, which helped him survive longer than other kings. He let Tywin Lannister take command after the Battle of Blackwater. He gave Cersei a role in court politics. He allowed the Tyrells into his inner circle through marriage. He knew these people were strong, and rather than fighting them for control, he used their strength to his advantage. Compare that to Cersei after his death. She tried to control everything, and it led to chaos, war, and the destruction of the Great Sept. Joffrey might have had a short temper, but when it came to ruling, he was smart enough to let others hold the reins when necessary. 5. His death broke the realm. Here's the big twist. After Joffrey died, the kingdom started to fall apart. Tommen, his younger brother, was too gentle. He was manipulated by Margaery and the High Sparrow. The Tyrell-Lannister alliance broke apart. Cersei went mad with power and blew up the Sept of Baelor. Eventually, King's Landing became a battlefield again. In a weird way, Joffrey was the glue holding everything together. He was hated, yes, but he ruled in a way that kept the realm under control, even during one of the most chaotic periods in Westeros history. His cruelty created fear, and fear created order. 6. His actions weren't as irrational as they seem now. We're not saying Joffrey was a good person. He wasn't. He did many horrible, unforgivable things, but many of his major decisions, while brutal, had clear reasons behind them. Let's start with beheading Ned Stark. It shocked the world, but it showed that traitors wouldn't be spared. Humiliating Sansa? Terrible, but it kept her from rebelling or running. Killing Ros with a crossbow? Sick, but it showed what happened to those who betrayed or lied. It was all about establishing dominance, which is exactly how the Targaryens ruled for centuries, through power and fear. Even Tywin once said, "It is better to be feared than loved." And Joffrey kept his grandfather's words alive. 7. Maybe he was the king Westeros needed. Here's the question we want to leave you with. In a world where mercy gets you killed and trust is a weakness, was Joffrey really the monster? If this made you think differently about Joffrey, hit like, drop a comment, and tell us what you think. Was Joffrey a monster, or was he a necessary evil? And don't forget to subscribe to ZNF TV for more deep dives into the characters of Game of Thrones.